going on, Bay Area? It's your boy, Chewy Gomez from 102 Jams. Listen to me every day, 3 to 7, playing your best hip-hop and throwbacks. Now back to my boys, Bonte and Shasky, right here on 95.7 The Game.
Hey, Bonte. You know that we're back?
Sorry, it's FaceTiming. Baby Chaz and Anna. We're rocking and rolling. At the crib. About to eat some breakfast. Got swim class later. Swim class. Baby Chaz, 6th class. She's doing really, really well. Really well. You get excited for class. She loves swim class.
You or her?
Both. I like swim class, too.
I'm now envisioning you like you were in the pregame show the other day with your floaties at a pool party.
Yeah. I didn't go full pool party the other day. Spit on.
Swim class is the best for the little ones because they are so tired afterwards and they just go to sleep.
They go straight to sleep.
And then you can relax.
And then you do the fishes in the sea. Fishes in the sea. We all fall down at 1, 2, 3. Something like that.
Look at you.
Look at that. Look at that.
Are you doing a little La Petite?
La Petite? Yeah. Don't blow my cover, though. I'm not going to tell you the location.
No, it's okay.
You know, La Petite.
Yeah, it'll cost a coin.
Warm. Not that bad. Not that bad. You would know, though. I mean, you're the moneymaker here. You're the moneymaker. That guy's got a house on the fifth hole, man.
No, first hole.
First hole. Yeah. First hole.
And shout out young Guido.
First hole.
He bought a spot around the corner from us. I'm actually really looking forward to that.
First hole.
Guido's the best.
Isn't he the best? Young Guido is the best.
Which
Probably
Guido?
had the best golf of my life playing with that guy.
He's a vibe.
He's
right?
just, between him and Lucas cheating every other hole,
Yeah,
but
that's
that's
it.
without saying.
Have I met Guido?
Yeah, young Guido. Brian Guanasso, you don't know about young Guido?
Oh, yeah, I don't think so.
From deep down South Glen Park?
No, I don't know about Guido. I don't know about Guido.
Young Guido, if you're out there driving a Recology truck, I miss you, bud.
I don't know Guido. Football Friday, sponsored by the Jim Irsay Collection at the Bill Graham Civic Auditorium on December 10th. For free tickets, visit Jim Irsay Collection. You may get a new game ball from the Colts when they beat the Raiders this past Sunday. Jim Irsay game ball. No one want to see Ponte's floaties. Hey, calm down, 707.
So, Jim Irsay, the collection, it's a rock and roll American history pop culture thing. I'm looking at the website right now. Jackie Robinson pictures are up there. I see guitars, the Beatles stuff, and it's a photo of him looking super plastered with black glasses and a guitar. He looks like he's ready to rock out.
I love it.
Yeah.
He does play the guitar. He looks like he's been pounding a whiskey, especially this season. But he was on his private jet in Vegas. Hey, that's a big win, and everything in life is a gamble, baby. You saw that.
He hit him with a just win, baby, too.
He hit him with a just win, baby. Jim Irsay. Hey, you know what? He went out there. He got Daniel Snyder out the paint. He went out there and ripped Daniel Snyder, took one for the team. Let's go to Bobby in Oakland. Bobby, what's happening, man? You're on the roast. By the way, shameless shout-outs. 23 minutes. We got some big high school football playoff games this weekend. Big high school football playoff games. Bobby in Oakland, what's happening?
Hey, what's going on, fellas? And always good to hear you guys, man, for sure. Hey, yeah, I gotta get on these Warriors, man, because I listened to. It's funny we were talking about the Draymond situation earlier. I listened to Eddie House yesterday on the interview, and he was asked about that scenario with Draymond, and he said it's ramifications with that, and that's going to continue to be on and on. And they said the biggest result was that instead of Draymond being looked up to as a leader, as someone who could guide you, now he's looked to as a bully. And you got two different camps with that situation. So he's not saying what should happen, but that's still what's going on. And I'm kind of thinking, as we looked at the other day, how they played against Phoenix, you can see it in their eyes. Just the chemistry is missing. Now, I'm saying all to say this. I know it's unpopular to say. You're probably going to have to include Draymond in the trade, some type of package, because it doesn't seem like we can win with him. It may not be able to win without him, but in order for that team to come together, that looks like where it's happening. And I'm hoping, with another quick note with Steve Kerr, I just hope he turns the page and let these young guys come out and just play, man.
Maybe too late now, though. Maybe too late into the season. You're 6-9. Got to get some wins going on here. Got to get some good habits built.
It's kind of the chicken and the egg at this point, no? Like, you're going to need them. Like here's the problem, B. You can't just ostracize them And
No,
then
you
now they're
can't.
useless for the rest of the year. I'm not saying that that's what we're at, but because if that's the case, then now you're pivoting to they're useless for us and we have to trade them. And now you're also simultaneously diminishing some of their value.
You could do what Stephen A. Smith said on the Steiny and Guru show yesterday.
Now, if you have changed and you no longer believe in some of those young guys, are you ready for this? Mm-hmm. Go ahead and make the trade for Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make the trade for Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
Because
That's what I'm
you
alluding
can't
to.
waste. You cannot waste Steph Curry playing like this. You can't take this for granted. You can't waste it. If you don't believe that these young brothers can be ready
Hold on, Stephen.
to help you
I'm
repeat,
I'm
make a
asking you.
move.
Do you?
That was actually on First Take, but Stephen A. did join Steiny and Guru.
Elite
He
audio
joined them.
quality.
I forgot somebody told me nobody cut the highlights in the midday, so I don't know what the hell goes on here after 9:30. But that was actually on First Take. But he reiterated that on with Steiny and Guru yesterday right here on 95.7 The Game. So if you don't believe in him, go get Kevin Durant. Now, Kevin Durant looks a little happier in Brooklyn. They got the game winner yesterday in Portland. Tip in by Royce O'Neal. They're now 7-9. And look, despite all the woes with the Golden State Warriors, I look at the standings, right? We're 15 games in. They're 3.5 back of the Portland Trail Blazers for the top seed in the West. Portland lost last night to Brooklyn. They're going to fade. All right, Utah, the fade is already starting. They've lost 3 in a row.
Oh, the Laurie Marketing MVP campaign is slowing down.
It's done. Desmond Bane's out for a while for the Memphis Grizzlies. All right? Dallas, they're hovering around 500. Kawhi came back last night. He didn't look right. Sacramento's surging. They're looking good. Minnesota's a mess. So it's still early.
Yeah, I agree. It is
That's why
still early. But
that's why it's tough for me to panic. Honestly, I was thinking about it last night after the show we had. I said, you know what? I sound like a madman. Like it's only Clay's played 12 games. It's 15 games within the season. We're going crazy over this team because we're used to them playing at a certain standard where, you know what? The drop-off early in the season was to be expected with everything that happened in training camp, everything that happened in the preseason with the trip to Japan. Like, we kind of knew that we're going to get out to a slow start. Now, did we think 6-9? Maybe 8-6.
the record, I'm not even hyper-focused on the record. Like, the record, whatever. Like, to
Well,
me,
it matters, though.
I'm not saying it doesn't, but what I'm saying is that you keep referencing the record and how many games in. I'm referencing it's been a month and a half, and they look like mediocre at best.
It's been a month. Just saying, it's been a month.
They look mediocre at best.
They look mediocre right now.
At best, right?
still
at
early,
best.
though.
And mediocre, okay, like that's fine.
That's what I'm saying. You got to have some perspective here. 15 games of 82.
It's Thanksgiving, right?
Like, like Boston last year. We keep looking at Boston.
Yeah, but Boston
and they were
was
younger.
young.
But no, we didn't
And they
believe
were
in Boston last
incorporating.
year.
I'm just saying they are young, and so you assume that they're young players, and they got the big guy Williams back. Like things happen.
They don't
also
have
had
Steph Curry.
Of course, they don't have Steph Curry. But what I'm saying is they have young legs, and they can ride those young legs from January through the end of the season. We know, baked into the schedule, because of the Warriors' age, there's going to be some specific losses and some limitations regarding the roster as you move forward. You can't press the way Boston pressed at the end of the year. So to me, you could point at Boston. I say, yeah, that's a good example, but there's some nuances that can't apply to the Warriors.
Dallas struggled early last year. They were struggling. Made a trade. And they had veterans. I get it. And maybe the Warriors are just a veteran piece away. But you can't turn it around. Like, we're not even out of November yet. And I know it doesn't look good. It looks very, very clunky. All I'm saying is the panic meter, I can't panic yet. It's 15 games in. Now, does Clay need to shoot better shots? Absolutely. He's got to get better with his IQ offensively.
Can I ask a question
Jordan Poole
before you
gotta
keep going?
He has to be more consistent. Go ahead. Ask the
But
question.
why do we instantly, like we do this thing just in life, like they're going to win it all or I'm panicking and they're completely finished.
Because that's what people do.
But there's like 75 different freeway ramps in between those two things.
tell me why people
so
do
like,
that.
instead of the panic word,
Yeah.
just say, they look bad right now. It doesn't look good. This team, we know really that the point of all the yelling and the craziness and all of the vitriol around this team is the championship word, because they have a championship core. No, they've got a championship player, and we have identified the Holy Trinity, the unity, if you will, as an unbreakable unity. Clay and Draymond and Steph Curry. Okay? I think now this year is giving us a little bit more clarity that, like, really, the championship trinity is probably more like the Steph Curry trinity, as in Steph Curry is above the other ones. The other guys are great. We love them. But, like, if they're going to win a championship, it's going to be on the back of Steph Curry.
Let me ask you this then, because it would not shock me if Clay turned it around. It sounds like it would shock you.
Yeah, he could.
It sounds like you don't believe Klay Thompson could turn it around.
No, I think he's going to have some good games, but I think he's going to have more lackluster performances than good ones.
So he's going to be an inconsistent player this season.
Yeah, I think so. But
so?
I think he's always been offensively streaky, is the way I would describe it, not inconsistent. And maybe I'm parsing words here. But he brought so many other things to the table on a consistent level. I don't think you can count on those other things. I think that the streakiness is only, highlighting some of the other lost areas that were so reliable for him and so made him such a winning player and this a winning team.
I think he's going to scale back a little bit, and he'll start to show the Klay Thompson he was last season. I'm still going to ride with the fact that he didn't go through 5-on-5. He's not in the best shape. The minutes restriction got lifted, what was it, game 5 when it got lifted? Game 6? So you're dealing with that. I think we can see the version of Klay Thompson we saw last postseason. I'm still confident that it's one of those things where until I see that it's not possible, then I'm not going to go that way. Like I need to see it first. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I need to see it first.
I just think there's this general sentiment, and maybe I was guilty of this at some point. It's going to last forever.
Nah, I don't.
And I just don't think that, it is going to last forever, because
I don't think
nothing lasts forever. But I look at it and I'm going, I thought it would last longer than maybe what it really is going to be. Because I was thinking maybe 2 or 3 more years. Now it's feeling like 6 months to a year. That's what it feels like now. And I think that cold reality is like getting slapped in the face with a frozen fish at Pike's Market.
Great analogy. I'm not there yet, though. I'm not there yet. I got to see it first.
See what?
I got to see them fail. I have to see Klay struggle throughout the course of a season before I believe
So you're willing to sacrifice? Because I think this is the question now that I pivot to when people say that. And I heard Mark basically say, hey, I'm in it for the ride. So you're willing to live with sacrificing whatever it is at the end of Steph Curry's run here of greatness, and just you guys got to kind of ride it out.
For this year,
yeah,
I may be willing to ride it out. Is there a guy who could change the fortunes of the Golden State Warriors?
Know.
I don't know. We've discussed Kevin Durant. How realistic is that? I don't know.
Realistic enough that Steph Curry felt obligated to reference it in a Rolling Stones article, and the Warriors acknowledged to sniffing around about it.
Right, but how realistic is it really for Kevin Durant to be a Golden State Warrior this season? I don't know. How much can you net by trading the young guys? Do you even want to trade the young guys? I don't know, but I'm willing to go down at least with Klay Thompson. I'm willing to go down with the ship with Klay Thompson.
What about why did you not include Draymond Green there?
He has a player option, and I'm not sure if the camaraderie and the synergy is not there, something's going to have to change. Because and I told you this, I need Draymond to be Draymond.
Yeah, well, I need
the full Draymond Green package, and the full Draymond Green package comes with hurting some feelings. With hey, get your ass back.
Has he lost that right though? With some of these guys individually,
maybe. But and I told you that would be a problem. If he has to scale back on that stuff, which he has, it seems like he has, then that's a problem. Then I can't get the full Draymond Green package.
Yeah.
I need Draymond to be Draymond. Hey, Looney, get the hell back. Screen. I need him. Hey, Klay, stop shooting the damn ball. I need that.
Well, I feel very complicated in this situation because I'm feeling the pull from both directions. On one angle, I know what I would feel like. And if I was part of the Klay, Dre, Steph trinity, I would say, look what I've given you. Like I would want them to give me the leeway, the respect, and the right that I've earned on one level. Then on another level, as I'm being tugged away, I cannot get inside Steph Curry's head. And if I were Steph Curry, I would also want the right and feel like I've earned the right to be able to compete for championships. And if I feel like we're not competing for championships, I can understand that point of view of saying this isn't good enough. So like I'm tugged in both directions, B, and that's I think a lot of Warrior fans are.
No doubt. It's tough when you're in it and you see the struggles. And you want instant gratification. And you have Steph Curry playing at this level.
It's not even instant gratification. I just want to cling to the feel goods of the past. That's what I want to cling to what we just did in June.
Yeah, but that's over.
I know.
That's over. And that was going to be over because teams know the champs are coming to town.
Yeah.
And they're going to get everybody's best shot. Everybody's best shot. And if you're not clicking, and we've seen this in Detroit, we saw it in Orlando, we saw it in SAC, we saw it the other night in Phoenix. When you're not clicking, it looks ugly. It looks ugly. But it's still, I still try to go back to, it's just game 15. Now, we get to game 30, and they're 13 and 17, then we got problems. We have problems.
The only time in Warrior history that I can remember they made a monumental move that shook up at the deadline for an in-season thing is obviously the We Believe, which is maybe, like, in terms of their franchise, one of the greatest moves they've ever done. I know in 1975 they made a deal in the middle of the season as well. But, like, in my lifetime, it feels like trading Dunleavy and Murphy and getting Stack, Jack, and Harrington just kick-started everything. And it just rejuvenated and reset everything that they've got going. They bottled that up, and they went as far as they did, second round. And this team wants to win a championship. So I can't think of a situation where there was a major move made in the middle of the season and a team won a championship. Acquiring Clyde Drexler, is that the closest?
Houston Rockets. That was big.
Because I don't remember exactly what they gave it. Was it Vernon Maxwell and something else?
Yeah, Maxwell was still on the team. They gave up, it wasn't Otis Thorpe because Otis Thorpe went to Phoenix. I don't remember the deal, but I remember when they did secure it back with Clyde Drexler. Vernon Maxwell didn't play in the playoffs because he was ticked off that Clyde Drexler was starting.
So there you go. I knew there was something with Vernon Maxwell and Clyde Drexler. Max
was like, I'm ticked off, but he still rocks a championship ring. There's not too many big-time swing moves. There's like a buy-in move here and there, but the core is there. A big shakeup to help win the championship? Don't see one.
Well,
not mid-season.
No.
Clyde Drexler, Tracy Murray for Otis Thorpe, Marcelo Nicola, and first-round pick.
Otis Thorpe went to Portland.
Tracy Murray. Otis Thorpe, one of the great
later
bodies.
on when he went to Phoenix. That's right.
Otis Thorpe, one of the great bodies in NBA history.
Otis Thorpe was a boss.
Yeah, he was sweet in Atlanta.
Sick.
No, but like I'm thinking about what are the potential options for the Golden State Warriors this year? Get better with the internal roster that they have. Look outside the roster. And I'm just not sure the Warriors' pride, hubris, however you want to categorize it, leadership, is ready to concede trading James Wiseman for a guy who's got an expiring, like your boy Jakob Poeltl is an example. He's expiring at the end of the year. Yeah. So they're giving up the number 2 pick. Whether you think he's a bust or not, I don't know if they're willing to sacrifice whatever that PR hit is or their loss in dignity for acquiring someone who they deem to be a 9-minute a night guy.
They can endure that PR hit, though.
What?
They've earned enough equity to earn that PR hit. To say, hey, this was a bad pick. We moved on.
Then maybe PR hit isn't the right word. I'm saying I don't think that they're willing
admit that mistake?
Yes. I mean, even the Kelly Oubre acquisition, like...
They admitted the mistake.
Yeah, but like they were still like praying it would work because they didn't have many other options.
Hey, look, if Kelly Oubre was available down the stretch, they'd probably beat Memphis. They probably make the first round with Kelly Oubre.
I know this is going to sound absurd. I thought if they had Damian Lee, they would have won a game.
I think so too. Damian Lee was playing some good ball.
That long COVID really screwed them up.
Seeing fans scream and yearn for Damian Lee at their last season. Come on. Let's go to Rasheed Wallace, Detroit. A couple people said that. Shout out Leon.
That was a mid-season trade?
Mid-season trade because he got traded from Portland to Atlanta. He was in Atlanta for like a week and then went to Detroit and got a championship. That's a great call. It's probably that was a big one.
It's like the Mike Piazza in Florida.
Yeah. Even though they didn't win the World Series. Sam in Oakland. By the way, shameless shout-outs. 7 minutes. Shameless shout-out, 7 minutes.
I meant more that Piazza played like
4 games. Yeah, I
got it was.
Sam in Oakland, what's happening?
Hey, Sam.
Hey, boys. How you doing?
Hey.
All right. So this will probably take maybe about 45 seconds. I think that deep down, the problem is that when we want to choose between old and new, we're forced with being hypocrites because of what Draymond did and the fact that we all know it's wrong. And we all know that deep down it does have an effect, and it has had an effect. I went to one game early on, and Vontae, tell me if you see this. During warm-ups, I watched the whole thing. And every time Draymond went to a corner, people would slowly move away from him. People didn't talk to him during the warm-ups. If he talked to somebody, they would talk to him. But then they would move away. And I watched it with my own eyes. Vontae, I'm sure you've seen something similar.
I have
Draymond
not. Because,
cannot be Draymond.
Wow, I have not. But I will pay attention because I'm on the air. We're on the air during warm-ups. We're doing the coverage hit during warm-ups. When the teams come out of the tunnel and warm up, that is very intriguing, though, Sam. That's a good eye because that stuff matters. The little things like that matter to me. If that's the case, that's a tough scene. But I'm not able to see the warm-ups because obviously we're on TV and then we do the coverage hit. And so when I walk in, tip-off is happening.
Well, those things matter.
They do matter.
I mean, chemistry matters. I would say in the NBA, doesn't chemistry matter like maybe more than any of the other sports?
Maybe.
Because it's such a small group of people. You're a traveling circus and there's like 12 guys. You got to be all tight in. If there's one person, you can't just like click up over to the side. You know, like when a 25-man baseball team, you know, guys can kind of get into their breakouts and things like that. 12? You can't avoid a person.
No, you can't. You can't. By the way, James Wiseman down in Santa Cruz and talking to some people who was in the locker room when James Wiseman got the news broke to him. It was a tough scene. Here's what Steve Kerr yesterday on Damon and Rido had to say about that conversation with James Wiseman as he goes back down to Santa Cruz, where he'll play tomorrow for the Sea-Dubs.
It wasn't difficult to give him the news. It's more matter of fact than anything. You know, James needs reps, and everybody knows that. And so talking to him, what I love about James is he's so committed to getting better, to the team, to the group, and he knows this is a good thing for him. Not easy. You know, he wants to be here and he wants to be playing a lot, but there's a process that goes into all this stuff. There's so much that goes into becoming a really good NBA player, and particularly when you're a big man and you don't have a lot of experience, it's just going to take longer. And so the G League Santa Cruz is going to provide him with a lot of reps and a chance to kind of, maybe sit back and watch our games a little bit and get a fresh perspective, and then be back before too long.
I would hope so. I want James Wiseman to thrive so bad. I do.
What you're seeing some people hypothesize that the Warriors sent him down there to hide him, and so that maybe they can increase his trade value. Isn't like his value kind of what it is?
Yeah, I don't buy it. He needs to play. James Wiseman.
No, I'm saying if you're an outside team.
Yeah, outside team.
If
I don't know.
If you were to trade him, I'm saying, don't teams already kind of know what they're getting? Like a raw
there's team scouts. There's team scouts in every single game.
Like a game down in Santa Cruz isn't really. Is it? I don't know.
It's more so about fixing him.
Yes.
It's more so about saying, hey, how can you adapt to our system? How can we get you to set better screens? How can we how can we get you to be more outgoing on the defensive end of the floor? How can you communication, rebounding, blocking shots? That's what it's about, because every team knows what James Wiseman is. Scouts are at every game, whether it's G League, pro games. The Portland Trailblazers scout was there the other night at Chase Center. Why is the Portland Trailblazers scout there watching the Spurs, Spurs and Warriors? Scouts are everywhere. They know the film, so it's more so about getting him up to speed.
How do you know that the scout was there?
Oh, because they sit in the media section.
Oh. And does it say scout?
Portland Trailblazer scout.
Oh, yeah. And educate me. I didn't know this. Okay.
Scouts got Niner games. There's scouts where we sit at Levi Stadium in the press box. Third deck, there's all these scouts, whether it's from Atlanta. It's scouts everywhere.
It's fascinating. I've been to an A's game and a scout sat next to me for the Texas Rangers, all get up, all like sunglass stuff. I think it was just for whoever was pitching, like Scott Kazmir.
See, in my mind, all the scouts are wearing like the fedora hat, and they're like
this guy looks like
I know, but in my mind, when I hear scout, I'm thinking of like old school baseball scout visiting some guy playing in some barnstorming league somewhere. I don't know why. I just in my mind, that's the way I visualize it.
Yeah, no, it's.
In fact, I prefer that kind of scout.
I used to see what's his name? Who's a former GM of the Raiders? Reggie McKenzie.
Reggie McKenzie, yep.
his twin brother used to always be at Stanford scouting for the Raiders. So they'd be all these scouts.
He's a
there.
twin brother?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Identical, yeah.
Yep.
Identical to, wow.
Yep. Freckles and
pretty cool.
everything. Before shameless shout-outs, let's get to Anthony in Napa. And then I see a Kathy Cruiser for shameless shout-outs. That's coming up in 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Or actually 1 minute. Anthony, what's happening? You're on the roast.
All right, good morning, fellas, and happy Friday to you. So I just kind of wanted to say that, yes, I'm riding with, I said this yesterday, but I want to reiterate it. I think the guys have just earned our patience, and so I'm willing to do that. And then, Joe, you mentioned that we want to kind of like waste Stephen Curry, and I don't think it's really a waste, seeing how it's so easy. I don't think you said exactly that, but I understand your sentiment because, like, we don't know how many more years we have of him. But I also think that we just got to really honestly be patient as a fan group and as fans and kind of just let this process play itself out because, as I said yesterday, they really are learning how to play with a new team. And the same thing was said last season after we went on that good start. We had a bunch of roadblocks, and everybody was asking with Trey Miles Turner, do this, do that. And ultimately, we wound up with the championship. And so I know this doesn't kind of feel the same way, but when you look back at everything we went through last season, it should allow you guys, even myself, to have a little more patience with the process. So want to wish you guys a good Friday, man, and good job.
All right, thanks, Anthony. Appreciate that, man. Good call.